On the morning of Halloween 2014, a strange aircraft ascended high into the skies above the barren Mojave Desert. The custom-built carbon fiber plane was essentially twin cargo jets flying side by side, joined at the wing. Suspended from that monstrous carrier vessel was a smaller plane dubbed the Enterprise, an homage to Star Trek. The aim was for the cargo jet to carry the Enterprise to an altitude of 50,000 feet, from where it would be dropped, briefly fire its engines, and then glide to a landing. The planes belonged to Virgin Galactic, the company created by Richard Branson to carry space tourists into suborbital flight. By 2014, more than 700 spaceship tickets had been sold, at $200,000 to $250,000 each. This was the 35th such test flight, but only the fourth in which the Enterprise was meant to fire up its rocket, which had just been redesigned to make it more powerful. The ascent went well. The pilot, David McKay, launched the Enterprise from the underside of his carrier plane at the appointed moment. Then his eyes panned across the sky, searching for the plume of the Enterprise's rocket engine. He couldn't spot it. "I remember looking down and thinking, well, that's strange," recalled McKay, experienced enough to be wary of anything unexpected. But all was well. Out of his line of sight, the spaceship had indeed fired its rocket and, in about 10 seconds, accelerated through the sound barrier. The mission was unfolding without incident. The Enterprise was captained by a test pilot named Peter Siebold, with almost 30 years of flying experience. His co-pilot, Michael Alsbury, had previously worked with 8 different experimental aircraft. In some ways, the two men were quite different. While Siebold could strike co-workers as aloof, Alsbury was always friendly and known for his sense of humor. But strapped into their seats atop the rocket, they functioned as a unit, each of their lives dependent on the actions of the other. Just before reaching the speed of sound, Alsbury unlocked the ship's air braking device. The brake was crucial for controlling the spaceship's orientation and speed while dropping back to Earth, but it wouldn't be needed for another 14 seconds, and Alsbury had unlocked it before he should have. The National Transportation Safety Board would later criticize the scaled composites unit of Northrop Grumman, which designed the vehicle for Virgin, because it did not guard against such human slip-ups by providing a fail-safe system to prevent premature unlocking. Unlike Virgin Galactic, government-sponsored space initiatives call for 2 failure tolerance. That means putting in place safeguards to protect against 2 separate and unrelated simultaneous problems, 2 human errors, 2 mechanical errors, or 1 of each. The Virgin team was confident that its extraordinarily well-trained test pilots wouldn't make such mistakes, and eliminating safeguards had certain advantages. "We don't have all the constraints a government organization like NASA would," one team member told me, "so we can get things done a lot faster." But on that Halloween morning, the lock disengagement was no harmless mistake. With the lock off prematurely, the force of the atmosphere caused the brake to deploy early, even though Alsbury never threw the second switch to deploy it. As the brake swung into position, the still-firing rocket placed tremendous stress on the plane's fuselage. 4 seconds later, traveling at 920 miles per hour, the ship ripped apart. From the ground, it looked like a massive explosion. Siebold, still attached to his ejection seat, was thrown from the plane. Traveling faster than sound, he was in an atmosphere where the temperature of the air around him was minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and there was just 1/10 the oxygen present at sea level. Still, he somehow managed to unbuckle himself, after which his parachute automatically opened. Upon rescue, he had no memory of the experience. Alsbury wasn't so lucky. He died instantly when the plane broke apart. Emotions and thought. The long string of well-rehearsed procedures called for when a pilot tests a new plane are normally executed so smoothly that it's easy to think of them as rote and mechanical. But that view is profoundly misguided. When the Enterprise was dropped from its mothership and started to fire its ferocious rocket engine, as planned, the physical circumstance of its pilots was suddenly disrupted.